Chapter 132. Uncle Shu has a point. Uncle Shu was worried about Chen Ge. We will let the visitors enter happily and then escort them out safely. What is so bad about that? Okay, don't worry. Everything is within my control. With Uncle Shu's repeated advice, Chen Ge led the 5 visitors to the underground parking lot. Please sign these disclaimers first. Chen Ge passed a few copies to the visitors. All the notes and warnings are written there. Feel free to browse through them. This is quite official. The leading young man signed the agreement without even reading it. His name was Wang Hailong. He was about 185 meters tall and roughly the same age as Chen Ge. Boss, will you renege on the promise of the reward money? If someone really manages to find all 24 name tags, will you give him the money? There was a slightly shorter man standing next to Wang Hailong. They appeared to be siblings. His name was Wang Wenlong, but their personalities seemed to differ. Of course, where would I be today without honoring my promises? Chen Ge replied with a professional smile. 20,000, one person, 24 name tags. Since we have 5 people, if we manage to find all the name tags, can you give us 4,000 each? The person who spoke was Wang Hailong's girlfriend. She wore a thin shirt and hot pants. The buttons of her shirt were not tight, and there was a fluttering butterfly tattooed on her collarbone. The girl's name was Dao Menglu, a pretty girl but horrible handwriting. Why not? The aim is to have fun. If you can manage to find all the name tags in 20 minutes, you'll each get not a penny less than 4,000. Chen Ge continued to smile. Wang Hailong dropped the pen and promised, Nice, I'll definitely call my brothers to come support you next time. Then I shall thank you in advance. Such a kind visitor. Chen Ge was touched. After signing the agreement, please come with me. A word of advice. Don't stay too long in the sealed classroom. The group walked to the end of the corridor, and Chen Ge pulled the boards away. There are many rumors about the abandoned school. Whether you believe them or not, be careful. Remember, no cameras when you're inside. You'll be responsible for the consequences. It's underground? The 5 looked at the dim tunnel which felt like someone was walking on it. Fuck, what was that? The fatty who had not spoken suddenly screamed as he staggered back. He had a beer belly and beady eyes. He did not seem to be that courageous. Pei Hu, you're scared before we've even gone in. Wang Hailong grabbed Pei Hu's bouncy arm. It's all fake. If you're that scared, hide behind Mei Li. Stop whining. Are you going in or not? This time, it was the other woman who spoke. She had a perpetual frown on her face and was short in stature. Even though she already tried her best, standing beside Menglu, she was like a green leaf accompanying the bright flower. Chen Ge glanced at her agreement. This girl's name was Xia Mei Li. What's the hurry? Wang Hailong winked at Chen Ge. Boss, remember to start the countdown only after we're in the tunnel. Sure. Chen Ge took out his phone to prepare. After the 5 visitors entered the tunnel, he closed the boards and put his phone away. Countdown? What was that? If they could walk out on their 2 legs, it was already good enough. Inside the dressing room, Chen Ge put on Dr. Skullcracker's outside and skin mask before going to the control room. He looked at the list of background music and decided against putting Black Friday on a loop. Uncle Shu is right. We're in the service industry. We should put our customer first. He moved the cursor to lower the volume and added Wedding Dress to the playlist. Listening to the same music again and again will bore the visitors. The boards above their heads were sealed. The 5 visitors stood in the dim corridor, looking at the half-opened classroom doors as shuffling noises drifted into their ears. This place is huge. Pei Hu nudged backwards to stand beside Mei Li. Isn't that a given? How else was he going to hide so many name tags? The boss isn't dumb. The slenderest man among them, Wang Wenlong, took the first step. Let's get moving. 5 of us should be able to find all 24 name tags. After we win the 4,000, we shall go for hot pot and karaoke. Since we're already here, let's finish this. My little brother is right. Wang Hailong took large strides. When he passed the first classroom door, he stopped. This sudden movement spooked the others. Hailong, what have you seen? Do Menglu whispered. Look at yourselves. What is there to be afraid of? He kicked the classroom door open, and the name tag that sat on the doorframe fell to the ground. This is easy. He picked up the name tag, and a girl's name was written on it, Chen Ge. This name tag was placed at such a conspicuous location. It's probably to help us recognize the shape and size of the name tags. Wang Wenlong took the name tag and gave it a look. Every name tag should have a student's name then. The edges are yellowed. This looks old and wouldn't be easy to replicate. What has that got to do with us? We've been in here less than 10 seconds, and we've already found one. As long as we're not afraid, finding the remaining 23 should be easy. Wang Hailong took the name tag back and continued moving forward. The easy success also relaxed the remaining members. Wind made the blank test papers that littered Muyang High School flutter. None of them realized that even though all of them were wearing shoes, there were fuzzy bare footprints that appeared on the papers. The temperature lowered, and in the darkened corridor, a creepy children's lullaby began to play. It sounded like crying and laughing all rolled into one. The atmosphere turned weird, and there seemed to be something hiding inside the classrooms on both sides. It was as if pairs of eyes were looking at them in the dark. There's nothing to be afraid of. But how come I feel weirdly unsettled? The five separated to find the name tags faster. Xia Meili and Wang Wenlong went into the classroom on the left-hand side to search while the rest searched the ones on the right. They searched a few rooms, but came up with nothing. This boss is smarter than we gave him credit. Let's move forward. We cannot waste any more time. Wang Hailong walked at the forefront. When he passed the sealed classroom, he halted. What's wrong, Brother Long? Did you discover another name tag? Pei Hu turned his head in the direction Wang Hailong was looking. He only took a glance, and a chill surged through his body. There was someone standing by the classroom window, and he appeared to be smiling. The scariest part was, behind him, there were 20 more mannequins who were sitting or standing in the classroom. Their bodies did not move, but their necks were twisted in weird angles, and all of them were turning to smile at the visitors outside the window. Chapter 133, Nightmare Difficulty. The blanched Pei Hu staggered back a few steps before he stabilized himself. Are you all right? What happened? Wang Wenlong and Xia Meili behind them rushed over immediately. Don't mind him, it's nothing. Wang Hailong's legs were shaking, and his face was slightly twitching, but he forced himself to appear calm. It's just a bunch of mannequins. Even though they were mentally prepared, the other three still got quite a shock when they looked into the classroom. The sudden appearance of 20 or so mannequins was scary enough, but to have them all looking in the same direction, with some of their necks twisted 180 degrees, who would be able to prepare for a sight like that? I was wondering why the previous classrooms weren't scary. It was to prepare for this surprise. Wang Wenlong was probably the most collected of them all. He turned on his phone to use the flashlight. Wenlong, the boss said to not use the phone inside the scenario, Xia Meili warned. What he doesn't know won't hurt him. As Wang Wenlong directed the flashlight into the sealed classroom, the light reflected on the mannequins' shiny bodies. Should be all mannequins. None of them blinked when the light hit their eyes. Wait, I saw name tags. There are 2 of them. Where? Hanging on the mannequin's uniform. Wang Wenlong pointed his flashlight, and everyone turned to look. The mannequin in the middle of the classroom had a name tag hanging on its uniform's lapel, while the other name tag was on the innermost table. To obtain these 2 name tags, one had to move through the rows of mannequins. This boss sure is immoral. Thankfully, all 5 of us came in. If we followed his rules and came in to find the name tags alone, of course, that person would be scared witless. Fine. Time to stop praising others and lowering our own morale. Wang Hailong walked back and forth several times until his legs did not feel that numb anymore. There's still time. There should be more than 2 name tags inside this classroom. We not only have to go in, but we also need to search the place carefully to find all of the name tags. Brother Long, please think about it. There's no reason to put our lives on the line for 4,000. Pei Hu still had not recovered from the scare earlier, and his brain was still a muddled mess. Is it as serious as you're making it out to be? Stop talking nonsense. Come here. Wang Hailong dragged Pei Hu to the entrance of the sealed classroom. Why do I need to enter first? Pei Hu showcased his survival instinct. I'm afraid that you'll leave us behind if I don't watch over you. Wang Hailong shoved Pei Hu into the room and turned around to tell Do Menglu and Xiao Meili. "The three of us guys will go in first. If anything happens, come in to get us." "Okay, be careful." "It'll be fine. Didn't Wenlong say it just now? They're all mannequins." Wang Hailong and Wenlong also entered the classroom. The three of them stood at the lectern and looked over the classroom. Goosebumps instantly formed on their skin. "This is just wonderful. The mannequins have taken up all the space. There's not even room for us to move." "Pei Hu, since you're so scared, you go and take the name tag in the middle of the room. Wenlong, you check the drawers, and I'll go and grab the furthest name tag." Wang Hailong acted like a real big brother. Even though Pei Hu did not feel that satisfied, there was nothing he could do about it. Before getting down from the lectern, Pei Hu jumped back again. "Brother Long, these mannequins look weird. Their eyes seem to move. Would it kill you to be a little bit quiet?" Wang Hailong was also made anxious by Pei Hu. "This is called the uncanny valley effect. Things that are too similar to humans will naturally elicit a negative reaction," Wang Wenlong explained, but he did not seem to buy his own explanation. "Both of you be quiet. The boss has already started the countdown, and we need to find all the name tags in 20 minutes to win. Stop wasting time." Wang Hailong forced himself to walk toward the innermost table. "Brother Long, don't be angry." Pei Hu moved toward the middle table with some hesitation. Due to his large size, when he got down from the lectern, his stomach knocked into a nearby standing mannequin, causing it to move. The person who designed this haunted house must have experienced some kind of trauma to be able to come up with something as sick as this. Pei Hu grumbled, but before he finished, he suddenly felt someone knock into his back. "Wenlong?" He turned to look, and Wang Wenlong was several meters away from him. "Who touched me?" He looked around before his gaze fell on the mannequin that was still trembling. The mannequin was very lifelike. If one did not take a closer look, one would be prone to believe it was a real person. "This mannequin touched me?" Pei Hu shivered. He did not dare stay to find out and hurried to the centermost table. It was a girl who sat at the table. Her uniform was different from the others and was drenched in blood, like something horrible had happened to her at the last moment of her life. Pei Hu stared at the name tag on the lapel and took a deep breath before reaching for it. When his fingertip was about to touch the girl's neck, the head that was turned toward the window suddenly moved. "Fuck me!" Pei Hu instantly pulled his hand back like he had been shocked by electricity. "It really moved? Could this be a real person?" He looked around. Wang Hailong was still moving toward the innermost table, and Wang Wenlong was near him. His friends were close, and this gave Pei Hu some degree of courage. He reached out once more and finally grabbed the name tag. "I did it." Even though it was not anything impressive, Pei Hu felt incredibly happy. However, when he was about to retract his hand, he realized that someone had strung a piece of string around the name tag, and the string was tied to a noose around the girl's neck. "Fuck! Is this really necessary?" He felt like cleaving the boss in two then. He gripped the name tag and moved around the mannequin. The classroom was dark, so he needed light to undo the knot. He took out his phone for light and bent down to get close to the girl. When the phone's light hit the girl's face, the mannequin's expression shifted, but Pei Hu did not notice that. Holding the phone in his hand, he stood behind the girl and had his head lowered to focus on the knot. However, as he was fully focused, he heard Wang Wenlong suddenly take a deep breath and whisper, "This is weird. How come I feel like this mannequin has been following me?" "You're probably overthinking it." Pei Hu, who found progress with his objective, laughed. He wanted to turn back to continue undoing the knot when he suddenly realized that the girl sitting before him had turned her head around, and the two faces, one living and one inanimate, were only half a finger away from each other.